Greetings petrolheads, welcome back to Automation, the car company tycoon game. So today the next thing I'm gonna show you is the AMW AdVance, which is a car that I only built like yesterday, I think. In any case, it is a excuse me, it is a family van with luxurious equipment and a turbocharged V8 engine. So it's basically a family van for the high society, if you will, or you know, a Renault S-Pace for for the high society. So it is an aluminium monocoque with aluminium panels. We got longitudinal engine placement, McPherson's up front, and multilink on the rear suspension. No double wishbone front suspension, because I just think this is better for compactness, for putting bigger engines in there, because there might be one with a bigger engine as well, and just also for a little bit of off-roading it's better than the double wishbone. So yeah, as far as looks go, we have a pretty, almost like Volvo XC90-esque front bumper. We have some, typical AMW taillights, the signature grille here, suicide doors, a little bit of chrome surrounding the side indicator here, and aggressive taillights. The rear end design is probably not everybody's favorite. That's okay. And we got quad exhausts, so suck on that shit. It is all-wheel drive, because putting a 5-liter twin turbocharged V8 with rear-wheel drive into a family van is probably not the best idea. So we got a 5-liter V8. This is based on the same engine block that we are also using in the V8 Eagle models, but maxed out all the way to its 5-liter maximum capacity. And we got the low cam profile, 9.9 compression ratio, really low boost, 0.6 bars, and good torque nonetheless, and 360 horsepower with, as you can see, a very accessible power band from like 4,000 RPM onwards, and running on 95 octane fuel as always. 6,000 RPM rev limit is certainly enough, because we're making a power early enough to justify that. Dual exhausts, decent size. Remus exhaust systems. Reverse flow mufflers on this engine, because it's meant to be quiet, like for better comfort and whatnot. Over 30% economy is good. 360 horsepower is, not really impressive for a 5-liter twin turbo, but it gets the job done, and it's not meant to be about maximum performance anyway, so yeah, there is that. We got a 6-speed automatic gearbox here, which is basically like the first time in ages I've used that transmission for a 2015 car. And the reason for that is that it just doesn't matter how fast this thing accelerates. But the automatic gearbox is a very convenient to use for a lot of people, and therefore it's very drivable and very comfortable. We got a good bit of overdrive, pretty long gearing, electric LSD to eliminate like almost all of the wheel spin from that 5-liter twin turbo V8, even though we're only running 205mm front tires and 215mm rear tires. Braking is a little bit of a concern, but then again, a vehicle this large, which weighs like 2.5 tons, like it's always gonna be difficult to stop that quickly. At 20-inch alloy rims, then we got Vented discs with 6 pistons. Oh, wait, let me fix that real quick. That brake fade. Why is this? There we go. Yeah, 6 pistons up front, 4 pistons on the rear. Yeah, and just really big size. Yes, we need that. Fully clad under tray to support slightly higher top speed and slightly better fuel economy. Wing angles don't matter. We don't have any aerodynamic fixtures. You get more than enough cooling airflow so that you can even take this out on a hot summer day and not worry about the engine overheating. 8 seats, like I was thinking about that one. The point is, you can have 2 seats up front, 3 seats in the rear, and then 3 foldable seats at the back. So if you fold them down, you get a huge trunk. If you don't, you have space for 3 more passengers. That's the idea. And basically, like in all of these big people carriers. So we got luxury interior with +5 quality, luxury infotainment, and all driver assist except launch control, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in this car. Advanced safety, and we got active comfort springs with semi-active dampers and a comfortable suspension setup here. Overall, the drivability is at 43, spoiliness is at 11.2, comfort is at 72.4, prestige is 50, and safety is 76. The reason I put the quality into the interior is that as it is right now, it costs 90 grand, but before I put all that quality in here and into the gearbox, it was at 60 grand, which I just don't think sounds very, premium-esque. It doesn't sound like a car for the, the rich people. And therefore I increased the quality on some of those parts, and it is now, well, at 90 grand. Also with a plus 21% markup, of course, because how many of those are we planning to sell? Probably not very many. So the ones that we do sell need to make a good bit of profit. As you can see, people would really like to see a convertible version of this car, apparently. You may have watched the Top Gear video where they convert where they make a Renault S-Pace into a convertible. It's hilarious. Go watch that one after this video. And yeah, the point is that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Yeah, and neither would this, I guess. Acceleration is not that bad, 7 seconds for a car this big and this heavy, which is not a sports car anyway. And as far as top speed goes, we were at 223. Yeah, I mean, just look at that on that car. That is like that's about as aerodynamic as a brick wall, which is why the higher speed acceleration and the and the top speed are very limited because of that. The aerodynamic efficiency, like the drag coefficient, is a 1.357, and that's like that's terrible. Economy, however, considering how big, how heavy, and how anti-aerodynamic this car is, economy is kind of okay. And it's also ridiculous how little, like how few emissions this thing produces. What about the running costs? Running costs are probably not that. Yeah, that's about what I expected. $4,623 is a lot, a real lot, but the practicality is really good. Cargo volume is lower because we got 8 seats. Width is obviously a limiting factor when it comes to practicality, because you know, on a narrow side road you may run into a little bit of trouble with this one. Also, finding a parking space is gonna be next to impossible for this thing, but that's okay. There's other cars like that out there. There's like an Opel Vivaro, like those big vans, or even a Range Rover Sport or Land Rover Discovery. Like those are really large cars, and well, it's difficult enough to find a parking space for them, and this one is not that far off. So, you know, could be worse. What else is there to say? Yeah, I don't know if I should try and make a V12 version of this as well. I think I will, and I think I'm actually going to do it here on camera. And the reason for that is that the V12 is smoother and more prestigious, so we should make better comfort and better prestige. Do we have a 2015 V12 already? No, we don't. Right, so let's make a new one then. A V12 aluminium. No reason to go for a magnesium. Yeah, right. We need a big stroke. Actually, we can go for a really large engine here. Apparently, this engine bay is just absolutely massive. Let's go for a 6.5 liter. There we go. Dual head cam. About cylinder, just as usual. I think we're gonna be fine. No, let's go for I-beam. Because, you know, costs don't really matter that much on this car. Compression ratio is gonna be higher. VT on all cams. Naturally aspirated. Direct injection. You know what? Have some more fuel mixture. More than 6,000 RPM is probably not what we're gonna need. Let's go with an exhaust about this size. 2 reverse flow mufflers. 438 horsepower. I'd like to see that. Ah, okay, that's a good torque curve. Satisfied with that. $445 horsepower. That should be enough, right? Can we go up to 450? Pretty sure we can. Oh, yeah, well, that, and then that. Okay. We got it. Without changing too much. Comfort is down actually. Yeah, because the other engine was turbocharged, so it was quieter. Yeah, this is good. The gearing. That is still fine as well. We are making a little bit more wheel spin now, and we're also making more brake fade because the engine is heavier, so we get more mass to stop. 70mm, why not? That is still fine. That is still fine. we're at 2.6 tons now. Acceleration is down to 6.4 seconds. Top speed is at 247. Drivability is up significantly though. What about the price? Yeah, we're nearing 100,000. Oh yeah, let's put it at $99,999, just like every other manufacturer in the world. But now the fuel economy is kind of silly. It's at kind of, you know, silly levels, because if 14 liters per 100 kilometers was already quite a lot, then 17.2 liters per 100 kilometer is certainly kind of excessive. Like that's something you need to keep in mind. But if you want, again, like if you can afford a car like this for your, and you want this to be your daily family car, then economy should not be an issue for you at all, because the car was $100,000 to begin with. So if you can afford that price, then you should also be able to afford the fuel costs. Other than that, you get a really solid car though, I think. 2015, 60 of, let's call that medium size. Because, yeah, 6.5 liters is big, but not really for a V12 if you can get up to like 16 liters. So there is that. There's this 6, 12, E6. It's not really an economy engine, but it's certainly far from its maximum power, from its maximum potential power, as far as 6.5 liter engines go. Yeah, so this is the AMW AdVance. Leave me feedback in the comments. Also check out the fan build competition in episode 195 that I posted, if you haven't done that yet. So thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like or a comment if you did, and I will see you next time.